All right, we're live. Welcome to the Spin and Backfist MMA show for Thursday, February 16th. Happy birthday, Jack Mac. It's not today. It's Jack Mac's birthday week, though.
Yeah.
You know us. We celebrate the whole week here on Spin and Backfist. And it's UFC Vegas 69. That's a big one.
Good one.
Nice,
Oh,
real nice. We also have to recap UFC 284 because we haven't done a show since then. There's a lot of fallout, obviously. There's IV accusations been thrown around left and right. It's Robbie Fox, Big Ev, and Jack Mac. And we're live on not only YouTube today, but Twitter. So if you're watching on Twitter, I hope we're live on Twitter. If you're watching on Twitter, welcome. The Wi-Fi appears to be off and on today, which is par for the course.
Classic.
Well, we're live on Twitter.
I did get, I got for Christmas a 5G Wi-Fi box to bring to the office when Wi-Fi is bad. I'm going to start bringing it for our show.
Thing to say,
I know.
We're an internet company,
Yeah.
known as for creating the internet, or what does Dave say? Like
Invented the
Like
internet.
we invented the internet, but we don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Anyways, let's
get into it. Where do you want to start? UFC 284?
I mean, probably just the main event.
Main event, I know, yeah, is the big thing. Islam versus Volk. We talked about it. We all said it's tough to see a route, or at least I said it's very tough to see a route for Volk to win this fight. It was also hard to imagine either one of these guys getting dominated or losing a fight. And honestly, neither one of them got dominated. One of them had to lose, but oh my God, this was an amazing fight.
It was so wild because I think it was the kind of it's very rare, or it's not super rare, but I think in MMA it's interesting. It's in the sport that you can see kind of like one guy win the match and the other guy win the fight. Yeah, in a sense. Whereas I think Islam to me, I know scorecards have been a little bit. I don't think people have been too outraged by the scorecards. The 49-46 is outrageous. That 100%.
Yes,
but I don't think people have been outraged too much by the decision.
I agree.
I think the rounds they were like relatively clear. The second round was probably the only one that the first and second rounds were like close, but I thought the judges I thought Volk won 3 and 5. Islam probably won 1, 2, and 4. I thought it was kind of what I expected. I thought 48-47 was like reasonable card.
Did you agree, Islam?
Yeah, I had 49-46.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I had round 3 for him.
That's crazy to me.
I
don't know. I just don't see it.
I mean, I thought round 2 and 3 were razor thin. So I get why somebody would score it, even to Volk, 48-47. However, close in striking in round 2 and 3, and then Islam got a takedown in both the rounds. So that's how I differentiated it. I know the saying that he didn't do much, but I do think it matters when it's a close round on the feet.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he like pieced him up pretty good in round 3, and then round 5. I mean, I guess you could sort of make an argument round 4 was the most dominant in the fight just because he held his back like the whole round. But then I also partly think that Volk might have had the most dominant round in round 5 because he kind of just beat the shit out of him, especially at the end. Yeah. That ending sequence was
brought him into deep waters, like you said, brother.
Yeah. Volk took him into deep waters.
But that being said, I don't see how you could, because Islam was arguably winning that round up until he got dropped, and obviously that flips it, but it wasn't a 10-8.
No, definitely. I wouldn't. No rounds were 10-8 in my opinion. Honestly, no rounds were even close to 10-8 in my opinion.
No.
Never at any point did I even consider that.
There were so many of those exciting moments in the fight, though, like where it seemed like one guy was getting in a lot of trouble. There was the great moment where Volk is talking to Islam while Islam's on his back, and Volk's throwing the punches. He's like, "That's all you got? Come on, come on!" That was amazing. It was like the exact fight we could have wanted out of this pound for pound clash. I want to see a rematch down the line.
I think we get one.
Like I think it's good enough for a rematch, right?
Why do you think we get one?
That's the tough question.
Volk's gonna go back down and defend.
No, but he's been taking that back. So he said that right after.
Right away.
He said that right after the fight, and then said, "Okay, yeah, I could see going back down, solving with the Yair." But then after the fight, when he then tweeted, "I believe I won," which is completely fair. And he also, I think the IV stuff almost is put out there to kind of like
try to get a rematch,
the rematch and like continue that bad blood, because Volk's a smart guy and he knows how to build a fight. And then
do you think the UFC will favor that? Will they be in favor of
I wouldn't be surprised
Volk
if
stepping
Islam,
back in? And
I wouldn't be surprised if Islam doesn't want to do whatever.
Hell no, he doesn't want to.
No.
No, he honestly,
See that look on his face at the end of the fight?
dude. He does not want that again. I don't think he wants it again. I think it'd be trouble again. Because I think
he might want it again. I don't know if he should want it again, but I think in his brain, I think he's like, I want to finish this guy. I think he's probably ashamed of himself. Well, his tweet was very funny when he said, I'll just watch the fight back. I'll give you this. You got 1 minute out of 25, brother.
Well, that was Ali.
Well, yeah, true.
And then he did the video on like a bus. It wasn't even like a nice bus. It was like Aussie.
Yeah.
It looked like a school bus. That's like they were transporting them.
Yeah.
But
I mean, every fight's different. But I mean, going off that fight, if there was one guy more likely to get a finish, it would have been Volkanovski.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
But I mean, obviously, like every fight's different. Things can change. I just don't see Volk getting choked out.
That being said, he did get stunned a few times.
He did. He definitely did. But also, the thing
handled it very well, though.
Yeah, because in the first round, he didn't get dropped, but he did kind of like get
buckled
hit.
him a little bit.
Yeah,
he buckled him, but he popped right back up and he was fine. There was no. I didn't feel when he got buckled a little bit there was any chance of him being finished.
No.
So I completely agree. If you want to look at finishing scenarios in a fight or a rematch, 1,000% Volk much more likely. But Islam still like. The biggest surprise for me was there was times when he was riding him on his back and he just couldn't get him down.
No.
Like I think it was maybe the second round or third round. He was like on him perfectly. Like we've seen Habib, Islam, Umar, all of them. And they just take him down because for whatever reason, they know how to perfectly put their weight on somebody's back. So that guy's carrying it. And Volk, he said after the fight, and I think we heard it when he was on the stool, he said, hey, this guy's not strong. And
he did say
and then Volk was saying, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. He was just like saying, no, this guy is not that strong, which is interesting because one of my favorite clips in the UFC history is when Habib fought Michael Johnson, and Michael Johnson's fought a lot of guys.
Yeah.
He said right after he went up to Habib, he was like, I can't believe how strong you are.
And Michael Johnson, like you said, if you look at his resume, he has one of the sneaky, like craziest resumes in MMA.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's funny you said that too because even that was kind of how Bobby Green said the same thing after when he fought Islam.
Yeah.
He basically was like he could have like taken me, like basically had his way with me. Like,
Yeah.
He literally had him pinned on his stomach, just basically just like.
I guess that goes to show
I
how
love when
great
fighters
Islam
look
is.
back at fights and have the perspective of like there was nothing I could have done. There's the classic Forrest Griffin clip of him talking about the Anderson Silva fight. And he's like, he was in the Matrix. I don't know what the fuck to do. He's like, I threw 10 punches and before I knew it, I was on my back.
Yeah.
Very funny clip. If you've never seen that, Forrest Griffin, just go on YouTube talking about the Anderson
What's
Silva
up,
fight.
Nadu's in the chat. Jesse
What up,
Adams,
Nadu?
as always.
Jesse Adams, shout out you. You're a big.
Jesse Adams is right, my
no
boy.
sound, guys. Eric Clark, is that true? Did it just go out? I think we've had sound.
You know, I mean, no one said anything.
No one said anything.
People were responding to the banter.
No sound, guys. What?
Checking. Do we have sound? Let us know in the chat.
I'm gonna check right now.
We're live on Twitter as well.
Yeah,
sounds
we have
good.
sound.
All right, Eric.
All right, we're good.
What the fuck, Eric?
You really worried us
He said
here.
we back.
We good. He said maybe he was on mute.
He said we
He
back,
might have
we
muted
back.
his
But
computer.
my
Appreciate
boy,
tuning in,
I
Eric.
just wanted to say, Parker Porter. I was so excited, and Big Ev was right.
Big F couldn't have been more right.
Somebody sent me a tweet right after. Said, "Shut the fuck up, Jack Mack. Big Ev, don't ever talk to Big Ev about MMA."
Oh my
And
god,
That's a little much.
that was hostile.
And I was like, you know
I'm
what?
not-
Big Ev and I disagree all the time, and in this one, he was more than right. Round one, Parker Porter dead, and my heart broke.
But he did like your messages.
Yeah, but he doesn't respond. He doesn't.
He didn't respond. Yeah, he just gave him the double tap. But that's the first step in this relationship building, I think.
No sound. Why do people keep saying no sound? I feel
They're
like
fucking with us now. They're trolling.
Is it Parker Porter ran out of gas?
What's a logical line be for Hasbullah and Abdu?
Hezbollah minus 200.
Yeah, like 250 maybe.
Yeah, he just got bet up to 250.
Off pure aggression.
Yeah. And I mean, we've seen Hezbollah like mess around with other kids and stuff, and he's got some, he does the head grab like the wrestler, like
he's been surrounded by fighters his whole life, and then also very funny talking about Hasbullah. He live streamed the entire UFC 284 main event on his Instagram.
Unreal.
I was watching it when Islam kind of buckled Volkanovski in the first round. I wish I screen recorded it. It was the funniest. He got so excited, yelling. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Obviously not English. He dropped his phone. And he was just all you heard was. And it was just so funny. And then he picked it back up, and then obviously the rest of the fight happened. But
he had that nice Instagram post like congratulating his guy afterwards. He's like, you showed them who the true pound for pound is.
He was not happy. I'm in his Telegram chat. He was not happy with Tukagav's loss. He said it was not fair.
I thought
Oh,
he got fucked too.
Yeah, I mean,
Personally,
yeah.
listen, he didn't cover his price for sure.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
But I thought he won the fight. So I agree that Volk should have stayed pound for pound one. Thoughts?
interesting.
To me, by definition of pound for pound,
Mm.
shouldn't the guy who came up and gave him everything he could handle stay that where?
Yeah.
Because that to me showed where we're thinking about before this fight. People were already talking about Islam maybe going up. He's that dominant. I mean, if you can't like take and hold down a 140, Volk's a freak. But if you can't take down him, like, how is he going to do against like Usman?
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Or like even Leon. Like Leon, we interviewed Leon. He's huge.
And he took down Usman.
He's huge. Like
Yeah.
these are huge guys. And Islam's a huge guy for 155, but these guys are big guys.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like he's like a Colby or fucking him. I don't know. We'll see if Hamzat can make 170, but imagine him against all these guys. Like I don't know how that would go after seeing him.
My personal opinion is we've seen Islam defeat the number 1 and number 3 pound for pound fighters in a 4-month span who were both on 10 plus fight win streaks. And he did it, one of them in his backyard in Australia. But I'm like 50-50. I do understand the perspective of the definition of pound for pound. Volk went up, gave him everything he could handle. He was in deep ocean at the end. And Volk looked like he could go for another 5 rounds. Islam,
Dude,
if there was
that's what I'm saying.
If there was one more round, Islam was dead.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, look at their faces after the fight. That doesn't always tell the story, but Islam was fucked up by the end of that fight.
He was like he said, fucking Volk was like I got 5 more than me. Like,
I think I lean on your side of that. I think I would keep him at
and
number
now
1.
like with Volk, like who do you think he couldn't beat at 155?
Volkanovski.
Like I picture him now like against
Makachev was the hardest matchup.
Any of these guys in the top like 5, 6.
Yeah.
I feel like he could beat like pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
Well, now it's very interesting to see. Like, we thought Islam was just going to dominate 155. Now I really want to see him against Dariush.
I think
Sarukian again, even Oliveira again. So that's the biggest thing. Where
I even think Gamrot could match, like just stylistically could match up because he could grapple with him.
And
I really think Dariush could beat him. I've been
the chat was just talking about Gamrot, by the way, because
I really think Dariush could beat Hamzat, or excuse me, not Hamzat, could beat Islam on a given night.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he would every time, but I think the fight will be close. I think regardless.
That's good news for the 155-pound division.
Definitely,
because it feels as if. And also, what do you guys think about people right after saying, "Oh, he's not Habib, he's not this, he's not that"? First of all, I don't know if I get why we compare, but I think Islam's track record so far. Did Habib ever fight in Oliveira? I guess Connor, but didn't have the ground game. And then who else is? I mean,
Islam probably already has a
tougher,
better resume.
That's what. Yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy to say, but
no disrespect.
Habib only really fought elite guys at the end, and how many elite guys did he fight? I mean, he fought Poirier, he fought Connor, fought Gaethje. Give him that one. Before that, it's Ali Quinta, Michael Johnson. Thiago Alves was it? Yeah.
That's what I mean, Islam, even if you look at the Drew Dober fight, Dan Hooker, Bobby Green's not bad either.
Are we going to war with Drew Dober?
Me?
Are we going to war with Drew Dober?
Oh, well, here's the thing.
Is that happening?
What
happened?
No,
Patty?
There was a fake tweet that Dober against Patty is happening, which would be an awesome fight. I don't think they'd book it.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
That would be
Dober said he signed a contract, right?
He said that?
Well, Dober.
I feel like Dober said that. I think
he said he wanted to fight in the Kansas City card. I saw him say that.
There's no way Patty's fighting on the Kansas City card. No disrespect to Kansas City.
Well, of course not. I'm just saying I think he's from like Missouri area.
Okay.
Are they? No, excuse me. I think he's from Nebraska, maybe.
I love Drew Dober.
And then he was saying that he wanted. I guess his debut fight in the UFC was in Kansas City.
Cool.
So he's like, I'd love to go back there. Like I'm from like the Midwest area. Like,
Dober,
I think he's from Nebraska. I'm pretty sure Nebraska or like Missouri or
that
one of those.
Dober McKinney fight was like one of the best 5-minute fights ever.
The Dober Bobby Green fight was. I mean, he was getting pieced up and then he just smoked Bobby Green.
What just such a Dober's an amazing guy, but I don't think UFC would match him.
I don't think Patty yet. Not yet. Honestly, I think it'd be more likely Patty would get like a McKinney.
Yes, no.
At this point, maybe, yeah.
That fight would be sick.
The more I think about it, the more I think it's like somewhat like realistic. Like
I think it's an even
fight
like
too. Pretty soon. Like I don't see why they couldn't book. I mean, it's I guess whatever Patty wants to do, partly, but
I know we'll see. He's got his ankle.
Joe Rogan shouted out our guy Johnny Eblin.
Saw that.
With
Jamal Hill, right? Yeah.
And then also he shouted out Terrence McKinney.
Oh yeah.
He was just like, oh, McKinney's. He's like, McKinney's a very dangerous guy. And then Jamal Hill said, yeah, he just has to work on his footwork a little bit. And then McKinney made a clip, which was pretty cool. He's like, hey, I've only been doing this for 6 years. I have a long way to go. So, but thanks for like the shout out.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
shout out to Terrence McKinney.
It was him with his coach, like working on the footwork.
Yeah.
He was, like, working footwork and like that kind of thing, like keeping his head off the center line kind of thing.
Smart. And then the IV thing is worth bringing up. So after the fight, Dan Hooker, I believe, was the first one to bring this up. He had a string of tweets accusing Islam Makhachev of taking an IV to rehydrate after the fight. He was like, you think you could come into our country and get away with this? You think we wouldn't find out? And then Volkanovski did an interview with Helwani where he alluded to the same thing. Then Brett Okamoto and Ali Abdelaziz came out with tweets being like, IVs are allowed in certain situations. Look at the rules.
Like medically,
doctor administrated or whatever. So now this is a whole thing. I was not familiar with the IV rules that Okamoto put out because I was like under the assumption IVs were just banned, essentially. It's a weird gray area. Like I get technically there's a loophole where it's allowed. It feels weird though. I
mean, it seems like you said, they just kind of found a loophole.
Unless he medically was like needed it. Yeah.
But think about how easy it would be to get a like go to a doctor and be like, hey, I just cut 20 pounds in the last 24 hours. Can I get an IV?
Yeah.
And who's going to tell you no?
And especially a doctor who maybe doesn't know that much about MMA. Like it's not like a doctor's going to be like, that's banned.
But you got to think of a doctor. They don't give a fuck about the rules of MMA.
Yeah. They're like, that's crazy for a human body. Of course, I'll give you an IV.
Just cut 20 pounds.
We could get an IV in here right now for like $250.
Yeah,
we should do it for an episode. We should just IV for an episode.
If you're hungover,
if you're hungover, they're like
$200. $250
they come in and they're very popular in Vegas too.
Yeah, they have like IV bars.
I thought the IV situation was like completely illegal, and if you got caught doing it, it was a 2-year ban. But I'm obviously wrong.
I guess is everyone just going to use IVs now because it's probably smart?
I mean, yeah. If you have the money to do it, why not?
But I think it's not even like if a doctor, like, couldn't that be even insurance?
Maybe.
Like you see, you just
also an IV. Also, these guys like
they make a lot of money. I don't think IVs cost that much.
Guess how many Instagram followers Islam got starting on Monday last week to Monday the next or to yesterday.
I actually think I know the correct answer.
Yeah, Jedi Goodman tweeted it out.
I'm gonna guess 500,000.
5 million.
Holy
on Instagram.
Fuck.
Wait, Islam?
Yeah,
that's not true.
No way.
He did not have less than 1 million followers before this. I checked this. I randomly looked. I think this morning he had like 5.8. I thought he had like 5.4 at the beginning of the week.
So maybe I read it wrong.
5 million would be outrageous. You gotta think
how much he already had millions like before he even won the belt.
Bro, 5 million overnight.
No. I read that wrong, guys.
All right.
He came into the week, like you said, 5.57 million.
Okay.
I think he's like 5.8 or 5.9 now. Something like that.
So you added 100 or 200,000?
No, he
like
400. So you were right.
He added 400,000. Jack thought it was 5 mil. That's a big. That's like what was the Mincy guess on the dozen that was so off?
I had one where I said the Avatar came out like 30,
Oh, might have been you.
days
Yeah.
ago.
You thought Avatar came out in 1984.
Yeah, right. It was like, and that's when Michael Jordan was at UNC.
Yeah.
I want where me and Alex Bennett got asked what what Pawn Star started. She said 74 days ago.
Yeah, I remember that one.
2.5 months.
They highlighted that one in the worst answers of all time during
Very
the Super
funny.
Bowl show.
I remember she had to go first, and she said it. And I was like, "Oh, well, I won."
Yeah. The IV thing, though, I think will become a much bigger story in the UFC this year in terms of I think everyone is going to exploit the loophole.
Because I'm sure Dana will get asked about it after the fight on Saturday night. I'm curious. I know he's going to give the classic, like, obviously he doesn't have like all the information, but
yeah,
I'm curious to see that. I hope they like poke at him a little bit, not to bother him, but just like I want to hear him answer like deeper, like, do you care? Like, is it like,
yeah,
like what's the situation on it kind of thing? Like,
yeah.
Are they going to just let people, if the doctor says, okay, you just get an IV after your weight cut?
Because I assume the goal for putting the rules in place that they did years ago was to stop this from happening.
But then also, we were talking about it before. I think the goal of allowing doctors to come in when needed is to make sure a guy doesn't push himself to the point of losing a fight and then, or like doesn't want to get an IV because he knows it's against the rules.
Yeah.
And then he damages himself even to the point of like severe even death. I mean, we've seen situations like that. And so without an IV and a guy's like, I can't get it, I need this fight, I need this money, so they put that loophole in. But then with any loophole, people take advantage of it.
Yeah.
You
want to talk about UFC Vegas 69 now, or is there the Jalen Turner fight is worth mentioning as well?
Yeah, now Gamrot's feeling that. Honestly, the fight I think got better.
Yeah,
and I love Dan Hooker,
but,
but I think the fight got better.
Yeah, that's a higher level matchup.
And I'm curious to see how Gamrot comes off. He has the great win against Sarukian, and then gets beat by Dariush, gets dropped in the third round. Those are crazy scrambles. So I'm curious how, because Turner's last few fights have been kind of short.
Yeah.
Like Brad Riddell, that was a while ago. He submitted Riddell in like, I think it was like a minute, not even maybe.
Yep.
It was very quick. And then who did he fight before that? Was it Malarkey?
Yeah. I think so.
Jamie Malarkey.
Or did he fight someone between them? That one went to the second. That was whereas how tough Malarkey was. He was beating the brakes off Malarkey.
Malarkey's one.
And Malarkey just like would not go out until
Malarkey called
finally
out
the
Patty.
second round. He got him out of there. Oh yeah, that's right. That's a fight I could see them getting too.
Yeah, 100%. And also Australia against England.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
That makes sense.
When people call Patty out, though, now it's almost like Connor back in the day, where it's like I roll my eyes and I'm like, oh my god, get in line. Everyone wants to fight.
And these guys,
add them to the list.
They're not even getting rich off Patty.
No,
they just like want to like steal the clout.
All right, let's talk about this card. You said in the beginning you like this card from a betting perspective,
I don't
right?
mind. I think it's one of those where like the name brands aren't spectacular, but I think they're sneaky, like good, like fighting matchups. Like, I think we're gonna get some good. Like,
we do have some tough matchups we'll get to, but
let's get to the first fights. Flyweight bout: Clayton Carpenter versus Juan Camilo Ronderos.
Okay, so Ronderos. I was really looking forward to bringing this up. Ronderos is probably one of the only athletes, at least in like UFC in major sports, that was popped for cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
He's been suspended for a little bit. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He got suspended for, I think, 2 years for cocaine use. He took a fight on short notice. But the thing with cocaine is it's not in your system for very long. That's why
very short.
So he almost had to be doing
right before the fight.
Yeah. Or like the night before.
Yeah, like a John Jones situation where he said like to DC, like I was doing coke and I rolled out of my bed and beat you.
And so he's fighting Carpenter, who I actually think's pretty good prospect.
I do too.
He was on Dana White's Contender Series, and then also this
is his debut. Yeah,
his dad's been molding him since he was a kid. He's a Golden Glove.
Oh
winner. Yeah. He like wrestled Aaron Pico.
I was gonna say he's a very good wrestler. I knew too.
So he has a great package, and Ronderos is coming in. We don't know what he's gonna look like. He's from Colombia, popped for cocaine. This is his first fight since then. I think they're trying to get Carpenter a win here.
Yeah,
I think he's a great parlay piece. I'm definitely gonna be on him. I don't really like. I'm not going to say, of course, Ronderos can win, but I don't really see a path for him.
No, I like Carpenter's parlay piece as well. That's exactly what I was going to say. Because I could see him. Like I just think I think he's going to be able to grapple him. Like you said, his boxing's pretty good. I mean, I feel like that was kind of what he did in the Contender Series fight. I feel like he uses wrestling a lot, if I remember correctly.
He lost the first round in Dana White's Contender Series, and then won the next two. Or
So I think he started. I think he was like using the striking. I think he started using his grappling, if I remember.
yeah. And then also, speaking of guys getting popped for cocaine,
Yeah, I was going to bring this up.
John Kennedy.
Damn.
So that's our answer to the question we posed last week.
Yes.
Are there drugs in the house? Well, there has to be, because
He must have been doing it literally in the house.
it was literally, that. So he's suspended 2 years as well. Is that the same rules?
I didn't really even know there was a commission for, but obviously there is, because it got approved by the Nevada Sports Athletic Commission for the slap. So yeah, I would assume he gets suspended for a very long time. And then Juan Mota got suspended for something yesterday too. I don't think it was cocaine or something.
I think it was PEDs.
PEDs, like something with an M.
Yeah.
I don't know what those. Also,
I didn't
Magic
actually
got-
catch it this week because I was like watching other stuff. But did you guys watch it?
No, I have to watch.
Slap?
I
I didn't watch
it.
last night. I forgot to.
9 month
I was
suspension.
watching
Man,
basketball.
John Kenny will come back
9 months,
better
okay.
and stronger. And
Yeah. Get the slapping, just like that whole time. 9 months of slapping something in your garage, a heavy bag, one of those. Like,
can
I
he
don't
go
even know
fight
what
in other slap promotions right now?
I would assume, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Dana White might not like it. He might be like, "Hey, you're my slap guy."
Like he'd be like, yeah, but you're not paying me anymore.
Yeah, I guess so. The next fight is a welterweight bout. AJ Fletcher is looking to rebound against Thema Garimbo, who is making his debut. He's a fighter from Zimbabwe. You got to tell
Yes.
Za about that.
Yeah. Look at his reach too.
That was a almost 10-inch reach advantage, 9.5.
Wow.
He's
Wait, what? That doesn't appear the same here. And on the UFC website, it says AJ Fletcher 67-inch reach and Themba 71.98 inch reach.
I saw 76.
Yeah, on ESPN it says 76.5 reach.
Oh, interesting. We'll see.
That's quite a gap.
We'll see
That's
how
a big
long
difference.
these guys' arms are.
So Fletcher's lost his 2 UFC fights, but I do think he actually is pretty good. He had a great fight against Semmelsberger.
He blew it. He kind of fumbled against Semmelsberger. He
Oh,
like,
did
had to win.
we have a bet on that fight?
He was winning, and I think it was like he was winning the first round. He was winning like halfway through the second round. Then kind of like he got risky, gave up position, got flipped over, and then Semmelsberger just like took over the rest of the fight and won the fight.
Was that part of a spinning back fist parlay?
I think it was.
I think it was.
Fletcher's from Louisiana. I think Poirier
He
was
is.
in his.
He's a Poirier.
Yes,
He is.
that's
he
right.
trains at that same gym.
That's right.
And then we have the Zimbabwe guy. At least I watched like one of his fights, but from what I've heard from people I trust, he's not very good. But it's just like I want to do Carpenter Fletcher to start the night as a parlay, but 76.5 reach. You never know. Fletcher gets caught in a guillotine or something, or even his striking. He's knocked a lot of people out.
Yep.
The guy from how do you say his name?
Or he hasn't knocked a lot of people out.
Alex Garimbo was. I don't know if there's something fancy. about
10% of his wins by knockout, 60% by submission.
There we go.
Garimbo?
Submission. Sorry.
That's what it says on the UFC website.
So
yeah.
that's what I'm concerned about. Carpenter wins easily. Then we have Fletcher. Fletcher's looking good. He shoots a takedown or kind of like gets caught. And then those big arms. I mean, think about the reach. We always think about reach for striking, which will benefit this guy here against Fletcher. But also on the guillotine choke, having longer arms really helps.
big time.
Definitely.
I still like Fletcher. I feel like, I don't know, like I know, like listen, this guy could be different. He's got a lot of submissions. I don't know about the American wrestling background compared to like the Zimbabwe wrestling background. And Fletcher is a good wrestler, so I feel like if Fletcher wants to make this a boring fight, that's the easiest path to victory. I feel like.
Yeah.
And it's
Just
someone who he
wrestling.
needs to win bad.
Yeah, he does.
If he loses this one, he probably gets cut.
He might.
I don't think you go Contender Series 0-3 against, especially
Also, this
a guy who's making his debut.
Yeah,
guy
you're
from
right.
Zimbabwe is like 35.
Oh, is he? He's.
Yeah, I'm taking Fletcher.
Oh, age isn't even on
Probably
there.
is.
So yeah.
I think it's like 35, which is significant. Fletcher's a young guy.
Yeah.
And I think the UFC's thanking Fletcher for taking the Semmelsberger fight on short notice, setting you up against a guy you should beat. But we've seen this happen before where you're supposed to beat a guy and then you get caught.
Yeah. Next fight is a good one. Light heavyweight bout between OSP and Felipe Lins. I think Lins is a pretty heavy favorite in this one, right?
He's minus like 225.
Pretty good fight though. OSP will always bring a fight to his opponent. another guy with a great resume. And you look back at that John Jones OSP fight, and it really makes me think that I'm going to bet on Gone.
Yeah.
Because I look back at that, it was a John Jones comeback fight after a long layoff. He didn't look all that impressive. I also saw John Jones tweeted yesterday, like, hey, DC, you're more than welcome to commentate my fight. It's all good, brother. DC's commentated his fights before. That's nothing new. DC commentated the OSP John Jones fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I did see it was like a sequence of tweets.
Yeah. It was a little strange to me. Like, does he know that DC's been there before? He's done it. And he's remained unbiased. He's done a really good job with it.
He's even said, like, complimented John Jones coming into
the
cage.
Definitely.
DC's very
DC hates him as a person, but respects him as a fighter. In this one, do you guys got Lynn's?
It's Lynn's because I remember when he first came in the UFC, he was much bigger. He was a heavyweight. He's kind of like shredded now, low key.
Yeah. He's got abs.
There's part of me that like wants to take OSP as a big dog, but I feel like some of these older guys, like it's just kind of like the young guy versus the new guy. The young guys win quite a high clip.
OSP doesn't seem like he really cares that much anymore.
Yeah, to me this is kind of like probably stay away, to be honest.
And then I just don't want to lay that juice on Felipe.
That's what I'm saying. I don't either.
You could just take OSP by sub. I think it's like 8-1, and just like a little bet. Hope maybe just Felipe like does something stupid, and OSP just finds a Von Flute or whatnot.
Even decision maybe goes to decision. I don't hate
Devon Prue.
I'm with Jesse Adams. OSP is also just there for a show paycheck. Lanes does seem a little bit more into it, but I'm not the biggest fan of this fight. But obviously, it's we'll see. He's like -210, -220.
Yeah.
I think we got another debut in the next fight. I don't recognize
we
this
do,
name.
I believe. Yeah.
Hussein Askabov versus Jamal Emmers. Jamal Emmers also coming off a loss. Is he coming off 2 losses?
Hussein Askabov is 23-0.
He was a contender series guy too, right off this last season, I think.
Who?
Askabov was. I think he.
Yes.
I think he was. I'm pretty sure.
No. This is his first fight in like 2 years.
Is it?
Oh.
Because I thought there was a guy in the contender series this season who he had a crazy record, but he was kind of like a tomato can killer.
The guy who lost what's his name? Bonfin.
Oh, that's right. Okay, you're right.
This guy is nicknamed Lion.
When's the last time he fought?
And he fought in 2020, March 2020.
Yeah, he hasn't fought. Wow. He's from Russia. He's 23-0, but all he does
March 14th, like the day the world shut down, basically, was the last time he fought.
He's kind of a tomato can killer from Russia.
And then he's only -140.
And then Emmers isn't bad.
That's what I'm saying.
Emmers could have beat Giga, and then also he had a pretty good fight against he has a good resume. But the only thing, it's just like, it's weird. It's like, why is Emmers +120?
That's where I'm going. My gambling reverse psychology brain is making me think like Emmers is the bet.
And Emmers just had his knee torn up by what's his name, Sabatini.
Yeah. Yes.
And this guy Askabov is known for leg locks. So I almost so if he gets the leg.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if Emmers taps before it even gets to the point of where there's no return, because it's like, hey, I'll lose this one, but I ain't getting my knee torn
my leg up. But yeah,
so I almost kind of like him by sub, but I bet the sub isn't.
I'd be the quickest tapper in UFC history. I would tap before submissions were even locked in. You grab me by the wrist and I'm tapping.
Emmers does need a win. Sam Rothstein, you can just leave.
These guys have never watched a minute of tape in their lives. WikiCap City.
It's actually Tapology Cap City.
Tapology.
We don't go on.
We don't go on Wikipedia. We go on Tapology. Come on,
Tapology.
Or Sure Dog. I don't, no disrespect to them, although they don't like you using the ad blocker. So
Jesse Adams is right. Emmer does need the win. Bet you were right. And to Eric said it right. I may just end up not betting this, but it's kind of like one of the better.
I'm not going to bet this.
It's one of the better fights on the card. I'm interested to see.
The women's bantamweight bout.
I love this fight.
I would say not one of the more competitive fights on the card. Lena Landsberg versus Maria Bueno Silva. Bueno Silva is almost -500.
But I don't get it. I'm on Lena Landsberg.
No.
Yes.
No.
I had a feeling.
Dude, Lena Landsberg is going to win this fight.
No.
Dude, Myra Bueno Silva is just, she is a submission artist that has like had a lot of arm. She's done a lot in the
Brother,
UFC.
you can't even.
No.
Brother.
I'm on Lena Landsberg. Lena Landsberg knocked down her last 2 opponents.
She lost to her last 3.
Yeah, but it's Harold Rosa.
Yeah.
Who else? Penny.
Penny. Yeah.
Yes.
And Sarah
And
McMahon.
she's no joke. She knows how to fight. She's going to get her up against the fence. Maybe, and I think she'll also be able to take her down. And if she takes her down, she just has to make sure that she doesn't break her arm and the guard of Bueno Silva. But outside of that, minus 500 in a fight that's likely going to go to the decision. What are you talking about?
So I don't know if I'm going to get to the point of like pulling the trigger on Landsberg. I agree with you that I think laying minus almost 500 with Mario Bueno Silva is crazy.
Also, she's
even
had
like
no
parlay.
takedowns in her history of the UFC.
She's got good takedown defense.
Yeah, but she almost will want to get taken down so she can get
I think her stock just went higher. She just had landed that big knockout against the Chinese prospect.
Yeah.
On the Singapore card.
Like viral highlight knockout, and then her stock kind of just went like way up after.
But Lena Landsberg's not going to get knocked out like that. That girl was.
I don't think so.
Lena Landsberg.
She was like sloppily leaning in and just got like murdered.
Lena Landsberg, 29-28 decision plus 400 is going to hit. Like these are like, and then I also like the over 2.5 here because both these girls love going to the decision. Landsberg isn't going to knock out Bueno Silva because Bueno Silva didn't get knocked out by Manny Fior.
Yeah.
So, and then I guess Landsberg could be caught in an arm bar, but I just don't see it happening. No, it's not a parlay piece, Rand. You don't fuck up your parlay, man.
Parlay Landsberg.
Oh yeah, parlay piece.
Make it a nuke.
Yeah.
But I'm on the over 2.5 in this fight too. But Landsberg's gonna win.
Another debut in our next fight: Nazim Sadikov versus Evan Elder. Evan Elder coming off a loss. There's a lot of like someone coming off a loss versus someone making their debut on this card.
Sadikov is he's one of Longo's guys.
Oh yeah, Frivola trains with him, right? Yeah.
Frivola was in his corner of the contender series. Frivola was one of his main guys.
Yes. So I'll root for him.
He's very good. I mean, his contender series fight was really, really good. He landed a huge knockout.
Hell yeah.
Over a guy who was pretty good. I remember he was really big, long guy. And I remember he came out the third round and just like absolutely buried him with a hook. I like him here. Elder, he came in he made his debut. He fought up a weight class like late last minute. Like he fought 170.
Yeah.
I think he lost the decision, if I remember.
It was against Preston Parsons, I think.
Yes.
I like pretty good.
Yeah. I like Sadikov in this fight. He's got serious hands. I think he's well rounded. I the camp he's from. Obviously, like Longo and those guys are great.
These guys swing too. This should be like
no, I think it's gonna be a banger. This is kind of one of the ones I was talking about. Like it's obviously you don't really like know the guys very well. Like they're not name brands. They're new guys, but I think it's gonna be a sick fight.
Something to prove.
And
yeah.
I like Sadikov. I think he's got that kind of power.
And Elder needs a win. He doesn't need one, but this is obviously two losses in a row. Then you get to the fight where it's like this is it.
You know, I like Nazim. Parlay, even by finish, I like him as well by knockout.
Nice. I'm rooting for him. And then we get to the main card. I'm looking forward to this fight tremendously. Yep. It's Jim Miller versus Alexander Hernandez. Alexander the Great, as you call him. But I am on my boy Jim Miller in this one from Jersey. It's the road to UFC 300, his retirement
He's
fight.
On a heater too.
He's going to do 100, 200, and 300. Fighting amazing. He's plus, what is he on the sports book? I mean, he's like almost plus 200.
Yeah, like 200 range, 190.
I love him in this fight. Absolutely love him. Alexander Hernandez, he chokes when the bright lights are on.
This is a tough one for me. This is tough.
He's not going to win.
It's a tough one for me.
Hernandez. Okay, so Hernandez stinks because he lost to Renato Moicano. And then he goes down in weight and loses to our boy, Billy Q. Well, not mine because he called me out because I said, but I apologize, Billy Q, for that. That was a dumb bet by me. Now he's back up at 155. He was getting interviewed yesterday. His dick didn't work at 145, he said.
Dick didn't work.
Now his dick works again, and confidence is up. Testosterone is up. Jim Miller, what's he going to do?
He doesn't have to fuck Jim Miller, though.
Yeah, but
he's got to fight him.
Testosterone is, like, it's up. What is Jim Miller going to do?
Knock him out.
With his 2010s or 2000s jiu-jitsu?
Bro, he's going to knock him out.
He's not going to knock out Alexander Hernandez.
He's going to land one of those Cowboy Cerrone combinations, kick him right in the face and knock him
Jim
out.
Miller has fought not the highest level of competition in the past few fights. This is one where there's levels to it. No disrespect to Jim Miller. I hope he gets to UFC 300. Hernandez is going to win this. I think he should be minus 400.
It's the tough thing. Obviously, if you looked at like their past, what Jack Mike said is correct in the sense like he's fought better guys. Like losing Mike Cano is like not a slouch. I mean, Cano's, in my opinion, it's really good. I just think this is where does Hernandez finally get a break where the gap in athleticism is so big that he finally goes and gets that win he really needs. Because I agree with like Jim Miller's been fighting great. He's on like a 3-4 fight win streak, something like that. He's fought really well. He took out a couple of young contenders. He just submitted Cowboy, which is what it was in this retirement fight. So kind of whatever, I guess. But I just cannot. I don't know if I'm going to bet the fight at all. I mentally can't bet on Alexander Hernandez. He just is like he's the ultimate hype train who, if he loses this fight, he's the biggest fluke in UFC history.
No.
If he loses this fight,
Actually, I'm with that.
If he loses
Sage
to
Northcutt.
No, but he didn't get the hype. Like this guy comes and knocks out Beneil Dariush.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be like a champion. He's not even good.
Yeah.
No, but he's going to win this fight, so it doesn't matter.
I'm saying if he loses to Jim Miller this fight, done. Like cut him.
Get him off the tour, Doug.
I'm serious. How many fights does he need to lose before you're just not that like he's like sort of UFC caliber if you lose to Jim Miller when you're like in your prime. Jim Miller's like 40 years old. You have 10 times the athleticism.
Comeback starts on Saturday.
No, listen, he has the kind of athleticism and explosiveness. He can go knock Jim Miller out in like 30 seconds.
I'm round one KO.
That is like not off the table, 100%.
I'm not putting a round one KO off the table on the other side.
Other side.
I'm not even saying he's going to lose. I'm just saying if he loses.
Yeah.
Like if you put a gun to my head and said who's going to win, my brain says like that Alex Hernandez just because the gap is so big, but I just can't. I don't know. I won't bet on him. He doesn't deserve my money. He's got to prove it.
He's getting my money on Saturday night.
In the light heavyweight division, we've got William Knight versus Marcin Prachnio. Is that how you say his name?
Prachnio.
Prachnio from Poland.
Yep.
William Knight from East Hartford, Connecticut. So, but this fight, I see the love for William Knight. Prachnio is also a guy who's like,
this is like a pick'em, right?
Yeah, around there.
Yeah.
William Knight's been taking some money.
Swung, yeah. Prachnio was a slight favorite. Now Knight's a slight favorite.
I don't think I'm going to bet this fight. Maybe the under. I don't know, but like William Knight got knocked out by Devin Clark
at heavyweight.
Yeah, but true. Devin Clark's finished nobody.
No, fair. Part of me wants to go Knight because I just feel like I see this as ending in like a meme knockout somehow.
By the way, Ebo is going to be really mad at you that you said Sage Northcutt is.
Ebo's a big Sage Northcutt guy.
He's the biggest Sage Northcutt.
He's not. The chat is pointing out.
He's coming back, by the way.
I know he is. He left on a win streak and everything, but then he got smashed up and then kind of did nothing. Sage Northcutt, when he like debuted in the UFC, it felt like it was like Dana White was like, here's Conor McGregor, here's Ronda Rousey, here's Sage Northcutt. Like this is the UFC.
He was
doing his little flips where he's like, whoop, does a flip,
and he just looks like the all-American boy.
Yeah, kind of like Billy Football. If he had bleached like frosted tips or whatever.
He literally got hired because he was handsome.
Yeah, and he had like a crazy six pack
for being young and good looking.
Yeah, and he is young. He still is young.
He's debuting the one championship card, first one championship card in America.
Yeah, everyone wanted him and him and Paige Van Zandt to date back in the day too, because they were both like the Christian fighters and they were like raised nice in church and everything.
And now Paige Van Zandt's on OnlyFans.
She is, yeah, yeah. She's
probably making a lot of money.
She is.
God bless
Good
her.
for Paige
I'll take William Knight in this, but I'm not betting it. Sorry, I know. If that makes me a disgrace to Connecticut, it is what it is. This would be 3 Connecticut losses in a row if he loses.
Oh,
Glover.
Yeah,
no.
Parker. And then William. That's tough. You can't have that.
And Glover went out with an L.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I was going to say in a row, but I thought Reyes was before Pereira. So For the last 5, technically.
I like
But there's got to be
Perea.
some Connecticut fights between then.
Are you gonna like be heavy for Perea just because of Connecticut? Then
He's not really Connecticut.
I know.
But then Glover's not either.
No, Glover's
No,
been
but
here
Glover's
for 2 decades.
Glover's
I guess,
he's
yeah.
established residency.
Fair enough.
Brazil didn't even really like him
Glover
on his final fight.
Yeah,
That
I wouldn't
Brazil
say
card
that,
weird.
but
I
it was
think there was
weird.
like no
Yeah,
one in the stands. I feel like they didn't like anybody.
it was weird. Yeah,
Well, I feel
had
like
a weird
what happened
vibe.
was they just saw him getting the break speed off him. They slowly just left.
yeah.
Instead of just like watching Jamal Hill get crowned like the champion.
That's fair.
Josh Parisian versus Jamal Pogues. Jamal Pogues making his debut. Another contender series guy, I believe, right?
Yeah,
This is an unreal fight.
Yeah, this fight's like a classic, like stinker.
Just heavyweight fight.
Jamal
on the main card,
Pogues has been on Dana White's contender series twice.
Yeah,
His first one he fought well. Dana didn't sign. He was the only guy who didn't sign from his night because he went to decision.
Mm.
And he came into his Dana White's contender series last year, and they were building up like, hey, he's going to put it all out there. He's going to, he won't win by decision. He's KO or bust. Then he just goes out there and just lays on the guy, kind of pillow fights him, one by decision. And then Dana,
Boring
because
ass
he
fight.
just loves heavyweights, like, yeah, what? Why not?
Wait, wasn't Pogues the one that after the fight he basically got the contract from just like basically like not begging, but he was basically like crying, telling the story of everything he had been through to get there.
Yeah.
And he kind of just like plucked a string with Dana. Dana was like, all
Dana's
right,
like, we'll give him a
I'll
shot.
give him a fight. Like, let's see what happens. He's a heavyweight.
Yeah.
I literally think if he was like a lightweight, he doesn't get a contract.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
He was a heavyweight. And he cried after. And he was like, oh, like let's get
Heavyweights are, I mean, in certain cases, worth taking a shot on. There are
They
certain guys
love
where
him.
it's like you get a string of knockouts together. Tai Tuivasa put together a string of knockouts. He's a superstar.
Well, Tai Tuivasa was a few seconds away from heavyweight
Heavyweight champ. Yeah.
championship because
I would have loved it.
Tai Tuivasa against John Jones would have been
That
so
would have been
funny.
the fight. Tai
It would've-
Tuivasa versus John
Tai
Jones.
had Cyril hurt
Badly.
bad.
Cyril said he had him like knocked out for a second.
He said he was out. He
He
said,
said he's never felt anything like
he
it.
said he literally basically woke up to like hitting the mat and was like, oh fuck. Like,
Yeah.
But but Jamal Pogues, he's minus 250.
I'll take Parisian.
Okay.
Yeah,
Give me
fuck it.
Parisian plus 200.
Fuck
I'll
it.
take a stab at it. If he loses, he loses. I mean, fuck it. I just don't think the Pogues guy is very good.
In the co-main
Parisian at least
event,
has fought some guys at least a little bit.
Yeah, no, 100%. I see why. I don't mind that angle at all.
in the co-main event, we've got a light heavyweight bout between Jordan Wright and Zach Pauga.
Yeah.
Pauga.
Pauga's the guy that
He got knocked out by
by
Usman's brother.
Usman's
That
brother.
was a heavyweight, so he moved down. He's a former football player.
He's a
He
pretty heavy
played the
favorite in
NFL
this
for
one
like
too.
like a year or
He
two.
trains with Curtis Blades, though.
Yeah, he does. No, I think he's pretty good. Honestly, he was beating fucking Usman's brother, and he just got caught with a huge shot.
Yes.
Usman's brother is a monster.
Yes.
So no, I don't think there's a ton of shame that he just got hit by a
Yeah.
massive dude, got hit in the butt, and it happened.
This may be it for
Yeah.
the Hollywood Ninja if he loses.
This is, I mean, I think this is almost like a must like under fight. Like Hollywood Ninja just only fights 1-round fights.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
He literally like only like he just throws himself in the and he hits hard too. So like that's why I'm willing to go under instead of even picking a fighter because I remember he had Bruno Silva hurt pretty bad and then he got knocked out. Like he does have some power.
This would be 4 in a row if he lost.
But he also just fought like he got knocked out by Joaquin Buckley pretty badly.
Yeah.
At middleweight.
I'm
And Joaquin Buckley's even like, he's about to go down to welterweight.
I'm intrigued by the over in this fight.
You want to with Jordan with the Hollywood Ninja? Hollywood, as much as I love
I'm
breaking Hollywood Ninja's
intrigued
balls,
by it.
Hollywood Ninja he's Terrence McKinney.
Yeah, he's pretty
But
electric.
he really- like, he
his
just goes
last
for it.
fight, he wrestled in the first round. Zach Pog, or what's his last?
Pauga?
Pauga.
No, wait. Pauga. Sorry, I got him mixed up with Pogues. Pauga. It's messing me up. But Pauga's also a wrestler. Trains with Curtis Blades. Pauga doesn't knock anybody out.
I think he doesn't have that many fights. I think he knocked out some guys in the regional scene. I hear you.
And Jordan Wright has been working heavily on his wrestling because he knows the other path doesn't work. Over 1.5, all we need 7.5 minutes. His over 1.5 hit last fight because he wrestled in the first round. Yes, it was like my biggest bet of last year. It lost.
You actually don't even need like that long. Over 1.5 means it's not going to go into the second round. That's what the UFC gambler said.
Yes. Minty bets. I will be contacting Barstool Sportsbook if Jordan Wright
Like,
gets,
no.
gets knocked out with the first minute of the second round, I will be like, Minty Bets told me.
This is not the bet that I placed. And then in the main event, last minute fight, Jessica Andrade versus Erin Blanchfield.
New
Jersey girl. She beat Molly in her last fight. Unfortunate for us. Good for her, obviously. Made a name for herself. I think she's going to win this fight as well. I don't think she's the favorite in this fight. She's an underdog, right?
The lines went, she opened it as a big dog and it's like close now.
I think she's going to win this fight. I think she's going to really, really show that she's like a crazy next level grappler against someone who's very, very good in it, Jessica Andrade.
I agree with you that Blanchfield is going to win. I'm going to bet Blanchfield. When I see this fight, I just think of, we've seen a few times where Andrade has been like held down.
Yeah.
Like this, like obviously Shevchenko's different levels, but she literally got put in a crucifix.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen fights where the wrestling's been a problem for her. I mean, could she just piece her up on the feet? Sure. That's what Andrade's going to try to do here, I'd imagine. But
that was Molly's game plan too, you know.
I believe in Blanchfield. I think she's that good. I know, like Molly, going from Molly to Andrade is definitely a big step up.
I'll be honest though, and this isn't against Molly because I actually think Molly's boxing's pretty like decent. Erin looked pretty good on the feet against Molly before she got the takedown. Now, we did see Erin look not great on the feet against JJ Aldrich, but that was almost a year ago at this point. She's 23. She's learning quickly.
It's crazy that she's still
And I
young.
also think her wrestling is, like you said, and grappling is just elite.
Yeah.
That being said, Jessica, what we just saw her do to Lauren Murphy was crazy. That was 4 weeks ago. She has to travel, I think, to Vegas.
Yep.
To fight in this. Erin was already preparing for the fight. That's kind of a disadvantage for Jessica, but Jessica's the type of girl that's ready to go no matter what.
Yeah, I was thinking like the fight was 4 weeks ago. Is she still in fight shape, or is 4 weeks long enough where like you take a breather, you start to enjoy your couple weeks? You know, I don't know how she trains.
Well, I'd imagine this is kind of one of those scenarios where they said, hey, like they wanted Blanchfield to get a big contender.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, like we'll pay you a shit ton of money if you fight.
Definitely.
Like they just probably gave her the bag.
I almost fuck it. Like I just keep thinking about this fight and I see Erin Blanchfield on top finishing Jessica. And everyone being like, holy shit. Like here, this is, and I also think we're going to look back and be like, okay, the Molly lost. She lost to a future champion.
It'll age very well.
Yeah. And then Molly will get back in the cage, whoever she goes against next. And then gets back on a little winning streak. It's
100%.
And obviously, like MMA.
Lee said she's been in Vegas. Wait, she never left?
Okay.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe she.
That'd be interesting.
Around.
If she just never left.
She just like set up camp at the PC like Mantis at the office.
You know, I still like, even regardless of like anywhere, like I'm expecting Andrade to be like ready to go. Like I'm not. That's not why I'm betting Blanchfield.
I do also see the scenario where Andrade just pieces her up, and we're like, oh, Erin's a very good prospect, but she really needs to work on her strike.
No, it's definitely in play. I mean, Andrade is that good. I just think,
but you're not playing minus 250 on her.
Yeah, when I think about the Murphy fight, like I just think like she is not going to just stand in front of her like that.
No.
So Andrade, I feel like the way she swings, Erin will be able to get in on one. Maybe she'll have to eat a few, but she's gonna have to eat a couple, I'd imagine. I mean, unless she just dominates her that aggressively. But I mean, I just think what I've seen from Andrade being able to get held down the way I've seen, like I think Blanchfield is capable of it. She at least was there for the Murphy fight, so I assume she just came back to Vegas after it from Lee. Yeah, all right, so that's good information. Maybe that's why she was easier to take the fight, but I also think they probably paid her a lot, which is good for Jessica. I think probably both are true. And I'm interested with this fight. I mean, I have a 1.5 unit bet on Erin. It's not something I'm like, oh my God, this is the bet I need to put in. But I do really like it. I really think Erin could be a future champion. Even if she loses this, that could still be true. I mean, if she wins this fight, she's getting the next title shot.
Yes.
It would be interesting to see. That would be against Valentina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be.
Well, I mean, think of it. It was Santos, the same thing. It was the same.
But you have to.
Santos should have got a rematch regardless. Santos, I just thought to beat Shevchenko.
She was real close.
I thought she beat her.
If she didn't.
Honestly, if it wasn't for the headbutt, I think she definitely would have beat her.
Oh, and boys, I've got some breaking news. UFC press release just got in. UFC and Dwayne Johnson's Project Rock launched co-branded UFC Rock shoe.
Nice.
New shoes for the UFC, ladies and gentlemen. New
Brother,
shoes.
we need to
promote
shoes.
I'm going to show you the picture of the shoes.
Brother, we need to promote shoes, not your fight.
It's gonna be breaking news on the show. Oh wow! Look at these boys. New shoes for the fighters.
They're like the same as they
UFC
had.
Project Rock. They're a little
those
more
are actually
black.
not bad
I
looking.
mean, I guess they're a little better than the all red ones.
This is breaking, guys. You don't get this anywhere else, except maybe other people that got the press release.
Hold on, I got another picture for you.
Oh,
Here's the bottom.
nice. So
Nate Diaz borderline left the UFC over wearing those shoes.
Yeah. He's like, these shoes fucking suck. His tweets after the fight were funny too, and he's like, "Fuck that! Like, Volk definitely won. He kicked his ass."
that's such a Nate.
He's on the Nate Diaz rules. Like you won the fight.
Loved Lil Wayne's 9-minute protest too.
He's the best.
That was I'm
Greatest
never watching
protest in the
UFC again.
history of-
And then when he was like, "Oh wait, John
You
Jones
think,
and
wait,
McGregor."
John Jones come back? Is he Pereira fighting?
Yeah,
Is it
McGregor.
McGregor in the summer? He goes, nah.
I'm
Nah,
back.
I can't stick it. Greatest 9-minute protest in history.
That was amazing. So shout out.
It
Lil
really
Wayne.
is. I wonder how many, if it's people not watching, I wonder how much like the commenters do with their, because we saw even like the Rogan clips, they were convinced that
I know.
all of them were like Vulcan obviously won easily.
Yeah.
I mean,
Convinced.
Schaub heard a 49-46 scorecard and thought it was for Volk.
Thought it was, yeah.
That would, I don't know how that
There
would-
is kind of the judging has, which it's been talked about forever, but there's this weird discrepancy of just damage over control, and I think no one knows the answer.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just-
no, I get that. And then people were bringing up the Sean O'Malley Jan fight, but that was a controversial decision too.
That was
Yeah, it
similar.
was.
That was similar to the control damage as well, and just the way the rounds went. It was like two close rounds versus one like dominant round.
So I completely, anybody that tells me Volk won 48-47, I say, all right, we scored it differently. I don't know how you, when I heard 49-46 on the scorecard, even though there was the Tukagov situation earlier, I knew Islam won.
I did
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But if it
I
was
did
48-47 across, I was like, oh, I would have had to wait for the name.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting a split. I thought it was going to be a split.
So was I. In
thought
Australia.
I thought somebody was going to give Volk the second round.
But
Same.
international judging, but these are all the same guys though. Like they flew out. What's his name? Sal D'Amato.
Yeah,
They flew out Derek Clearly.
But there is something about the live aspect of it in that like every punch that lands, there's a huge pop and an ovation, and it can almost fool you in the moment of thinking like one guy won a round.
Well, also,
I get that.
I think the commentary, and also from the aspect of we thought this was going to be a murder, and then it turned into holy shit, is this happening?
It's like a close
I think
fight.
it could like kind of flip your mind a little bit, but I can't. I really want them to run it back. It would be a mega super fight.
for sure. Also, the one thing I thought was interesting, I don't know if maybe this is like truly because of like the height disadvantage. I feel like just Volk had his chin up a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if maybe that had to do with like because the couple times when he made him backstep a few, like backpedal a couple times, where almost though it made the shots look like more impactful just because he was so like up like this, where Islam had a little more tucked because he's taller and he's able to kind of like keep the chin down more. Because I'd never seen Volk really just walk forward with his chin up like that. But I thought maybe it was, but at the same time, like Volk is like the same, or Islam's like the same height as Holloway.
True.
But maybe Holloway's power just couldn't touch him the same way that Islam's could. Probably fair. I don't know. I would love to see it again for sure. I think I would be shocked if we didn't see it again the next like year and a half.
I could even see it like Volk goes down, destroys Yair. Islam beats Dariush.
Yeah, I do think
And
Volk
then-
destroys Yair.
Then they come back.
For sure. I've been watching a lot of Darius has been doing a lot of interviews. I guess he wanted to do. I guess what the thing with Charles was they wanted to do the fight. He wanted to do the fight earlier, so it would like line up perfectly kind of with this fight. And I guess Charles kind of kept pushing it back. So now he said he hasn't signed it, but he's been given a contract, and the fight would be in May, like early May pay-per-view.
Don't you guys think the UFC should do the fight nights all over the country?
Of course.
And yeah, they're getting back into that.
They're
Like
starting
we
to.
saw
There's the
Kansas
the
City,
San Antonio one's
San
happening in
Antonio.
March.
We're seeing a little bit more
No
of a
doubt.
downswing of Apex. I mean,
I
agree.
agree.
Yeah.
It's way better with an audience. I couldn't agree more. No
Yes,
doubt.
I know it's saving cash, but just doesn't. Yeah, 100%. They are trying to. This is from front row Brian's.
Oh yeah.
They are trying to make the Apex zoned in a way where there's a lot more seats. So you
Huh.
would have like 500 to 1,000 people in it. So then
That'd be sweet.
so it's more like what was like was it Stardome or something that was just for WWE?
Oh, the Thunderdome, like
Thunderdome. So
during
it would-
COVID times, yeah.
It would just be for like that.
I mean, even NXT, like NXT's like the smaller WWE promotion, they do it from their performance center, and they have an audience that feels bigger and louder than the Apex in a smaller space.
So for fights like this Fight Night card, where they're just kind of doing it to check a box for ESPN,
yeah,
you have it at UFC Apex, and then there's 500 to 1,000 people, and people even in the Apex they get loud a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's like the families.
Yeah. All right. That was the show for 284 in this upcoming weekend.
I do think they're going to put McGregor Chandler in New York City, if not Vegas.
Yeah, I think New York City or Vegas.
Yeah,
I think I lean Vegas because McGregor usually does Vegas. I do think New York would be cooler.
I agree. I just think with what they're doing, if it's going to be like in September, they'll just wait and do another just the big card in
I am worried
in November. Like they kind of make that just like just routine.
Very worried that the fight is going to be September 16th because I just got tickets to a concert on September 16th. And that was the first thing I thought. It was like McGregor better not fight then.
Hopefully it's November 4th and it's at MSG.
Fact.
I'll pay $5,000 to go to that. Not actually, I was kidding.
All right. That was the show for today.
We love
UFC
you, Game
Vegas
Time,
69. Yeah, shout out Game Time, even though they're not sponsoring the show.
Yeah.
Hopefully they will in the future. Make sure you leave a like if you're watching on YouTube and everything. Comment after the stream. It helps us out. And we'll see you next week.